Hey y'all, this is Cina, and you are tuned into my very first vlog. And the reason why I am deciding to vlog is because I'm currently 20 weeks pregnant in 5 days, and I'm in a very unique situation. I personally don't know anyone that's in this situation or going through what I'm going through, and I've decided that by me sharing my story, it might uplift or encourage somebody else that's going through the exact same thing that I'm going through right now. Sorry for the way I look. I literally just got out of the hospital, a few hours ago. Like I said, this is my first vlog for one, so please forgive me, if I'm all over the place. I don't know. But just, I've been going back and forth with myself. I didn't know if I wanted to share this, because you just really don't know the outcome, and by me just kind of putting myself out there, it's just, I don't know, it's just not, I wasn't sure if it's something that I wanted to do. So, with that being said, here goes. I am currently 20 weeks pregnant and 5 days. This is my third pregnancy. I currently have a 13-year-old daughter and an 11-year-old son. Yes, y'all, it's a big gap. Honestly, I didn't know if I was gonna have another child. If you follow me on Instagram, then you would know that one of the reasons is because my older 2 kids are from 2 different men, and even though I'm married, I never ever imagined my life with 3 baby zaddies, okay? Ever. But so that's one of the reasons. The other reason is because I am high risk. I'm high risk. Both of my first 2 kids, they were premature babies. My daughter, I had her at 33 weeks, and my son, I had him at 27 weeks. And I was diagnosed with something called an incompetent cervix. So meaning the baby get a certain weight, my cervix can't hold the baby. So that's why I went into early delivery with both of my 2 kids. So I already knew this. And with the incompetent cervix, you have to be on bed rest. Like for real, bed rest, no sex, very limited activity. So I knew all of this. So that's another reason why I didn't want to have another child, because it's just that bed rest. Anybody that's been on it, it ain't no joke. A bitch be ready to slit her wrist, it's a very, very boring life. And if you don't have anyone that's supporting you, like me in the past with my other 2 pregnancies, if you don't have that real support, it just makes it that 10 times much more harder. My last 2 pregnancies, because they were just so traumatic, with everything going on with my body, with the babies. On top of all of that, I was with, y'all baby daddies, if y'all see this, it's no shade, but I was with men who wasn't shit, who was cheating, not supporting me, and just we were young and they weren't shit. So that just added to that just added to everything that I was already going through. That was another reason why I didn't want to have another child, just because the risk that was involved. So anyways, fast forward 11 years later, my son just turned 11 last Saturday, and I'm pregnant. It wasn't something that me and my husband planned, but it was just always one of those things where we're not trying to have another kid, but if it happens, it happens. And it just so happened on our anniversary trip when we was in Cabo. Of course, it was a shock. I was like, oh shit. It was a shock. And, we didn't tell anybody for a while. So when I first found out I was pregnant, we went to the doctor, and immediately the doctor was like, because of your history, you have to do a cerclage. And for those of you who don't know what a cerclage is when they put a stitch in your cervix. so that it doesn't open during your pregnancy. It's not an invasive surgery, but it's still a surgery. And that's when you be on a bed rest. Once you get to full term, they remove the stitches and they let your body go into labor like normal. And so when I went to the doctor, I first went to the doctor when I was 6 weeks, and the doctor was already like, all right, Cerclage, when we get the schedule. And I'm like, hold on, pump your brakes, because I had a Cerclage with my son, and you know, the Cerclage, it didn't work for my son. Now, I already know for me, the reason why I feel like it didn't work is because I was so stressed out that pregnancy. I was so stressed and so depressed, you know, because my son's father just was not really doing right by me. And you know, at the time, my daughter was 2 years old. She was 2.5 years old. So I had a toddler. I was on my own, just doing it like by myself. I didn't have help. And so even though I had the Cerclage, they wanted me to be on bed rest. I couldn't be on bed rest for real, because, you know, I still had to get my daughter to and from daycare. I lived in an apartment that was on the 2nd floor, so I was climbing stairs. You know, I was going grocery shopping. We had to eat. I didn't have nobody to do it for me, so I still had to go grocery shopping, lifting things. And so I feel like, you know, I was the cause of my Cerclage not being successful with my son, but still I wasn't trying to do it again because I just didn't want to be on bed rest. So when he immediately suggested a Cerclage, you know, I asked him, like, what are my options? Like, you know, like, what, tell me my options. Like, I'm older now, so like, y'all not about to just tell me what we gonna do. You know, we gonna talk about this. You know, when I was 18 and 20, you know, I just went with everything. But, you know, I'm older now, like, what are my options? So the other option was to just monitor me every 2 weeks, monitor my cervix every 2 weeks. And then if there's any changes, then we will go ahead and do the Cerclage. So me and my husband, we talked about it. And of course we went with option 2, you know, just monitor me every 2 weeks and let's just see how it goes, you know, because I was under the impression, I'm already thinking, I'm like, shit, like, my last child was 11 years ago. You know, like, I'm a little older, my body might be stronger, you know, shit might be different now. Like, that was literally my thinking, like, my logic. Like, you know, it just might be different. Like, I'm not young, I'm not in a stressful environment. Like, I have a loving husband. Like, life is good. Like, I'm not stressed out. Like, it might be different. They always say each pregnancy is different, right? So let's test that theory. But so anyways, that's what I was doing. I was monitoring my cervix every 2 weeks. We was going like clockwork. Everything was fine. Everything was going good. You know, they was just like, yeah, you know, cervix looks good. It hasn't shortened. It hasn't weakened. Everything looks good. So good, like everything good. Until Monday that just passed. Monday, March 9th, I went to my doctor's appointment like usual. My husband didn't go with me this time, you know, because shit, we've been going every 2 weeks and everything been normal. And I was really expecting everything to be normal. And the doctor came and told me that my cervix got a little shorter. And I was like, fuck. Like, I just was not ready to hear that, you know. It just, you know, like, I don't know. See, that's why I didn't want to do this vlog, because, you know, it's a lie. So I wasn't ready to hear that. And so, you know, now this changes everything. Now, you know, like, my life is going to be really, you know, disrupted, you know, with me getting this Cerclage placed. And so I told the doctor, like, okay, like, I need to talk to my husband. You know, me being a good wife that I am, like, me and my husband, we talk about everything. We don't make decisions without each other, especially, you know, when it comes to something like this. So I told the doctor, you know, I need to go home and talk to my husband, and then we'll just go from there. So of course, when I went home, I talked to my husband. He was like, you know, see if you can schedule an appointment, you know, within the next 48 hours so we can do a consultation, so I can be there so I can really, understand what's going on. We scheduled an appointment, for that Wednesday. So just so y'all know, so I went in March 9th, Monday, for a regular checkup. They told me my cervix was short. Now here we are Wednesday, and they got me in for just a regular appointment, and my husband was with me, and the doctor was just pretty much telling my husband everything that he told me, like my cervix has gotten shorter and we need to go ahead and do the cerclage, which me and my husband, we agreed that that's what we were going to do. But before I left that appointment, the doctor decided to check me one more time, and they saw that my cervix got even shorter than it was on Monday. So I'm like, oh shit, like fuck, like this shit is for real. Like I started having flashbacks, like, with my son, like just like fuck, like, because with my son, by the time I got a cerclage with him, I was already 3 centimeters dilated. Now, if y'all have kids, and if you've gone through pregnancy, you know what 3 centimeters dilated is. And at the time when I had the cerclage of my son placed in, it was so long ago. I want to say I was maybe only 23 weeks, and I was 3 centimeters dilated. So that was like an emergency situation. That was just like bad situation. Like I had no cervix left, 3 centimeters dilated, and just that was a bad situation. That's what we were trying to avoid with this baby. But I was getting scared. Went to the hospital Thursday morning. They went ahead and admitted me and found out that my cervix was now open. So now 1 centimeter dilated. And that was just so devastating for me, because it's just like, like my body is just reacting and it's changing so fast. I went from 3.1 centimeters cervix closed to 2.3 centimeters cervix closed to now 1 centimeter of the cervix being open. So I'm not no doctor. I can't break it down for you. If you're watching this video, then you know exactly what I'm talking about, and you're in my situation. Man, like it was just, I don't know, y'all. It was just so scary. Just, I'm so thankful, because, my husband, he been by my side, the entire time. And it's just like, I never really had that, so it was weird, like when I went into surgery with my son, when I was pregnant with my son, I did all that by myself, and just, having him by my side, it just definitely made things like a lot easier, and I'm just so thankful. But if you're going through this and you don't have anyone by your side, just keep pushing, because I did it by myself, so I know. about to have my baby. But yeah, so thank you for watching and stay tuned. I love y'all. I love each and every woman that's watching this. And just know that God is with you. He was with me and he's with you. Just got to dig deep. Don't let your outside situation determine your future. Don't let it don't determine who you are right now. It's just a temporary situation. Everything that you go through, even happiness, is temporary. So just keep pushing. And please subscribe to my channel. Leave a comment below. You know, follow me on Instagram at Cina_Fuller. And I'll see you guys later.